Good morning. Welcome to Morning Oasis. You're at a different angle because for some reason my iPad's not charging and it's plugged in. So we'll see how long this works. We'll see if it lasts for the whole show. Welcome. It is, let's see, today is Thursday the 27th of April. I know what date it is, I swear. So this is the chew cable, you guys. This is what I spent all that time putting on every cord that we use for all of our electronics on this level. And it totally didn't even work. Didn't even work. So annoying. So anyway, and for some reason now, my iPad's not even charging at all, and the cable is fine. I just got the replacement cable from downstairs that I use in the garage, so we'll see what happens. We'll see where we're going today. I just had to run down really quickly, so I'm kind of like, my tablet is only at 50%. Okay, so let's see. Morning announcements. Let's start with that. We still have tickets for the Breakfast with Jesse. A lot of people are expressing interest, but you gotta actually buy your ticket in advance. If you just show up there, I will have no way of knowing who's going to be coming. If I don't have anyone purchase actual tickets and just plan on showing up, I'm not going to show up. So you guys have to actually book the tickets in advance if that's what your plan is. Let's see, the Intuitive Gallery, we've got our big reading on Saturday night. Saturday from 1 to 9. That's at the Unity Church in Eugene. And there's a lot of people there. You can find, also if you want to book in advance and like this Saturday or the Sunday Breakfast with Jesse on May 7th doesn't work for you, or you'd rather do dinner, there's Friday night dinner with Jesse. That's going to be in June, on June 2nd. That's a Friday night. So all that stuff's in the events page on the website. You can go there. You can buy your tickets directly. You can sign up and all that. Good morning, Laura. I know, Lynn, I wish you could too, but we'll just have to do breakfast in Scotland someday. That'll be the plan. Let's see, so then the chakra workshop is up and available for you guys. It is so awesome. I'm just thrilled with how that came out. And Kyle and I are going to be doing a lot more work like that. So we're getting together in next week and we're going to be recording meditations. I've created a whole trilogy of 3-part meditation CDs. They're not going to come out on CD actually. They're going to be MP3s. But they are all designed for grounding and connecting and getting you really connected with yourself, your highest self. This is the first series. The second series is grounding and connecting with the angelics, and the third is with galactics. So we're really going to be making some super cool stuff for you guys. What else is there? I think that's all the announcements. We have one card pull for 2 people requested today. That is for Elizabeth and George, who I haven't seen come on yet. I'm going to move my iPad back over there. I can't stand it over here because I'm so far away from all my stuff. So you're just going to see me move. Let's see. Just feel so out of place over there. Okay. If it's not charging, what does it matter anyway? Okay, so we've got Elizabeth and George. I don't know if you guys are in yet. And if anybody else, we have 2 card pull slots left. And today we're going to be rounding out our discussion about passion. A little surprise for you guys. Let's see, Elizabeth and George. What card decks wants to talk to you? The Dreams of Gaia, which is by Raven Felon. There's that box again. I know that a lot of you guys like to hear in advance. Great, Laura. How are you doing, Laura, by the way? I know you got a lot going on over there. Now let's get the cards out. There's this image that's on one of the cards that I absolutely love. It's on the back of the deck. book. I'm going to show you guys. Isn't that amazing? I love that image. So beautiful. Okay, so let's see. And Karen, perfect. Okay, so we've got our 3 for today. And I just wanted to say I've had so many people express their sorrow for not being able to attend live, and I know that it feels extra special when you get to be here live. Good, hanging with the pigs, nice. I get that it feels different, and it's an awesome feeling to be able to participate and comment and have your comments received. Good morning, Andrea, nice to see you. And then it is to, actually have to listen to it as a recording, and for some people they just don't even want to. But you don't have to apologize to me if you can't make it for when it's showing live. We have busy lives. This is part of my work. This is my service work. This is why I show up every morning. But I don't expect each and every one of you guys to show up every morning. I love it when you do, but I don't expect it. It's okay. I totally understand. Elizabeth, perfect timing. I'm just about to pull your card. So don't feel like you are disappointing me, and I've said this before, but just recognize it's okay when you can't show up, and if you don't need to, just watch the replay. Thank you, Misty. Much love and respect to you as well. Welcome. I don't think I've seen you comment before. Let's see. Oh, I wanted to say one other thing. I wanted to tell you guys, okay, so I had to make a talk to one of the listeners yesterday because she talked about doing readings. I just have to put this out there, and I'm going to put it on the description for the show as well, but on our group, on our Healing Pathwalker group, I have a pretty strict policy. It's written out that I only ever endorse and support people whose work I've experienced. So I can speak to what it is that they're doing, how they're doing it, and what they're actually offering. So when somebody uses the platform I've created to talk about what they're doing, if you want to talk about what you're doing and you want to share, like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited, I'm planning on offering services, just be careful, because I might take it down and I might ask you not to do it if I haven't actually experienced your work before. Because a lot of people come to this space because the integrity here is really high, right? You guys know what to expect from me. I'm totally transparent. Shauna's transparent. You see what we do. And I've had a lot of people come in and want to offer their services through Healing Pathwalkers, but then they kind of fall apart as a result because they can't maintain that level of transparency and integrity. Now, this isn't to say that the person who offered or was talking about their services yesterday can or cannot. I don't know. I've never worked with them. So when you are bringing up what you do, cool, nice to see you here, Ariel. When you are bringing up what you do, just please be aware that this is a format where people come in and they're vulnerable in this format. We're all vulnerable, and that's what makes this such a special, powerful, beautiful place. So if you want to talk about your work, please check with me first, and I'll give you a little bit of guidelines about how I'm comfortable with you using the platform and what I would be comfortable with you talking about beforehand. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Okay, so let's see, Elizabeth's card. Ariel, a lot of people are drawn to me without quite knowing why until they start experiencing what the show is or my work, and then they're like, oh, that's why. So just let go and enjoy yourself. Tomorrow, if you show up early enough, you can request a card pull and get one of yours pulled. Okay, so let's see, Elizabeth and George. I don't know if George is here today with you, but I'm going to look this one up because, as we've talked about before, I don't use this deck as often, and it's telling me to. Yeah. This makes sense. This really makes sense for you guys. Oh, he's working? Then you can convey this to him, or just let him watch this part, or encourage him to. So you got the 3 of Earth. This is really about sowing the seeds, groundwork, an energy investment in your time, about sacredness and fertility and the outcomes of this work. See how he's sowing those acorns so lovingly and gently? And he's got the squirrel there with him. Squirrels store what's needed for later, right? They're going around and collecting and storing and gathering. And he's in a lush, beautiful flowering garden. So see how the little lights that are all around, those little like orbs of energy? Those are like the fairies, the earth energies that are supporting this work that he's doing. It's saying take time to make preparations, risking future goals and ambitions, investments and sacrifices equals reward, time of restriction or adversity, increased opportunity, people notice commitment and dedication, be sure of your motives, maintain intimacy and connection. So one of the things it says in here, the future, can symbolize a time of sacrifice in the weeks and months ahead, may be choices offered that appear as limitations or restrictions. With these choices bring about a feeling of reluctance and frustration and annoyance. Put them aside and focus on what the end result will bring. Those frustrations and annoyances, put those aside and just try to stay focused on what you're really working towards right now. These moments of adversity and hardship make you want to give up, and if you feel your resolve challenged over the weeks and months ahead, know that all that you hope to achieve is dependent upon your willingness to make a commitment now. And then honor that commitment all the way to the end. So that's really, that's where you guys are at right now. And it's also saying, keep in mind that all things will reap what they sow. If you want instant gratification, you may find you're met with instant disappointment. If you spend all of your time worrying and second-guessing yourself, you may find yourself making more mistakes, giving yourself things to worry about, more things to second-guess. It also reveals, in reverse, it also cautions against becoming so focused on your goals that you forget to consider the emotional needs of those around you. Give the appearance of being insensitive and selfish. Do not create distance between yourself and those that you love. Intimacy and connection are essential, especially if those that you love are the reason you seek to better yourself and your future prospects. Okay? All right, so let's see. Laura, not this deck. Kind of feels pretty much right where you guys are at. And you guys are doing so much work right now. I'm really, really proud of you. Really proud of you. I know how hard that work is. I live that work. Okay, let's see. Laura, the Energy Oracle, wants to talk to you. This is by Sandra Ann Taylor. Here's that box cover. Shauna sometimes uses these in our card pulls, in her card pulls, her angelic readings. Okay. I completely cleaned and organized my whole desk area, you guys. It doesn't really look like it from probably your angle, but it feels so much better. Oh, it feels so much better. We'll see. We'll see how long it stays. I'm getting better and better at staying organized once I do it. Okay, let's see. Action. So one of the things about this card is it's got the 2 horses, not just one, in motion, right? There's 2 horses. There's the light and the dark side of us. Sometimes we have to be aware of what our subconscious motivations as well as our conscious motivations are as we're taking action. This is part of what happens when we are following our passion, right? Our passion gives us this ignition, like this force to get moving, get motivated, get making things happen. But sometimes we have some unconscious things that are blocking our movement really, and that's perfect for what I have planned for you guys after I do the card pulls. Sierra, yes, we are. I do 3 individual card pulls in the morning, so the first 3 people to request it are the ones who get it. If you'd like, I'd be happy to put you down for tomorrow, and I can pull a card for you tomorrow. So that's just the very first part of the show. And you don't have to be sorry, honey. That's my niece. She's lovely. So yes, checking into what's going on in your motivation and get some movement going. It looks like what I'm feeling and what I know of you is that you've had a lot of choices and decisions to make, and now it's time to start doing action, right? Taking that action on it, and also being aware of what the action's results are, kind of seeding back into what we just talked about with the previous card pull, making your intention about what you're doing now, what your actions are now. Right? You're seeding for that future time, but the action now is necessary. So recognizing that is what I'm getting from this. And let me feel if there's anything else. Nope, that feels like it. Okay. And last but not least is Karen. Ooh, Karen, you're shifting in your energy. Ooh. Ooh, good work. Let's see. Oh, the Earth Magic wants to talk to you. This one's by Stephen D. Farmer. I really like his work too. It's the Earth Magic Oracle deck. Totally different feel from the Energy Oracle, but still just so powerful. Let's just clear these out a little. Oh, interesting. They really don't want much clearing at all. Okay, let's see. Karen. Yeah. What was I just saying? Shifting. Lots of shifting going on, and here we go. Shifting. Shape-shifting. Clouds is what you got, Karen. I'm going to just read this one because it's cueing me to do it. So, these ones are short, and there reads. Shape-shifting. When tiny droplets of water or frozen crystals are surrounded by billions of other droplets or crystals, a cloud is formed. Each of these tiny droplets diffuse and scatter light so that the tops of clouds are white and then fade to gray towards the base. The nature of cloud formations affects our mood as well as the temperature on the ground and in the air. Their shape, movement, and coloration tells us what weather to expect in the near future. And they nourish our visual hunger during breathtaking sunrises and sunsets. Most of us have an opportunity at one time or another to notice the shapes and forms clouds take as they drift gently or boldly across the sky, constantly shifting and changing, adjusting their nature. When we take time to simply observe, we can see that cloud people, images that are an elegant collaboration between nature and our imaginations. In both subtle and more dramatic ways, you can shape-shift by your choice of clothing, hairstyle, adornments, and even mannerisms, such as facial expressions, gestures, and the way that you walk. By adjusting these, along with your internal attitude, you can actually display different personas. When you experiment with these variations of self-expression that are not how you ordinarily present yourself, others will react to you, depending on the degree in which your persona contrasts with the one they're most familiar with. Be like the clouds as you try out different forms, stretching your limits at times, willing to move and adjust as necessary. Lift your head up, square your shoulders, and stand tall such that your chest and heart open up to the world. And note how this feels. You may feel vulnerable at first, but stay with it. Then let your shoulders fall forward slightly, pull your chest inward an inch or two, and let your head drop a little, and observe how this feels. Experiment with contracting your aura, and your energy field. Then expand as far as you comfortably can. By this kind of shape-shifting, you can consciously choose your expression into the world. Just remember who you are at the core. So really, you're playing so much right now with all of these aspects, right, of yourself and how you want to show up, how you want to present, what you want to accomplish, where you want to go. So just keep playing with that. And that's also kind of what we're going to be talking about today. My guitar's right in front of me. So what we're going to round out our discussion of this week about passion, right? We've talked about passion. You've seen passion. We've experienced it with each other, right? We played with how our passion motivates us and moves us forward. But today what I wanted to talk about is how our passion actually can sometimes block us when our passion is not in alignment with who we are and what we came here to do and be. Sometimes we can feel so passionate about something and then we get to that space and we're like, oh my God, this is so not what I even want. This isn't even what I desired. This isn't who I want to show up as. This isn't what I want to be. And really, that can often be because the goal isn't actually the goal, but it's just to get you into a new space, to change your environment so that you can receive new information. So what I wanted to do today was I was going to read you guys a story. Now, you guys know my favorite author is Dr. Seuss. I love his work. I love all of his work. I used to say when my son was little that for good mental health, one should read at least one Dr. Seuss story a day. I still maintain that. I keep his books right next to me and I pull them out pretty regularly. This one is one that I love because it kind of shows what happens when we get really stubborn in thinking we're following our purpose and our passion, but we actually are removing ourselves from the flow. So one of you guys was trying to guess what this book was, so we'll see if you got it right. It's from The Sneetches and Other Stories, and it's called The Zacks. I know it's backwards, but bear with me. All right. One day, making tracks in the prairie of Prax, came a north-going Zacks and a south-going Zacks. And it happened that both of them came to a place where they bumped. There they stood, foot to foot, face to face. Look here now, the north-going Zacks said. I say, you're blocking my path. You're right in my way. I'm a north-going Zacks and I always go north. Get out of my way. Now let me go forth. Who's in whose way? Snapped the south-going Zacks. I always go south, making south-going tracks. So you're in my way, and I'll ask you to move, and let me go south in my south-going groove. Then the north-going Zacks puffed up his chest with pride. I never, he said, take a step to one side, and I'll prove it to you that I won't change my ways if I have to keep standing here for 59 days. And I'll prove to you, yelled the south-going Zacks, that I can stand here in the prairie of Prax for 59 years, for I live by a rule that I learned as a boy back in south-going school. Never budge. That's my rule. Never budge in the least, not an inch to the west, not an inch to the east. I'll stay here not budging. I can, and I will, if it makes you and me and the whole world stand still. How many of you can relate to that, right? Well, of course, the world didn't stand still. The world grew. In a couple of years, the new highway came through. And they built it right over those two stubborn Zacks and left them standing there, unbudged, in their tracks. So, you see, what happens when we get so stuck on thinking we're supposed to go in a particular way, we're supposed to do a particular thing, we identify as a particular person with a way about them, we miss out on all of the growth, right? We don't get to be a part of it. It just goes around us. It still continues. Everything still continues to develop. We don't. We stay stuck. So how are you staying stuck? Because of what you've decided to be true about you or about someone else, right? How much of what you know is based upon the identity that you have created? Thanks for the Shauna. I can't help but read Dr. Seuss without voices. Oh, hello, son. I don't know your name. I'm horrible with names. So yeah, I feel like that is one of our greatest challenges, is when we get challenged with what our identity is, how we believe we're presenting ourselves, how we believe we're showing up because that's our identity. Hi, George. Nice to see you here. When we get so stuck and fixated on that, the only person that misses out is us. And really, the whole world also misses out because they miss out on who you are because you're stuck proving it, not flowing with it, not growing with it, not changing with it, not evolving with it. So when you have a passion that's driving you, it's interesting. Bashar talked about this through Daryl Anka. When you have, he says that the only way to live your life, the way to live in this new expression, this new density, this new system, is by living in your passion, following your greatest bliss, your greatest joy. Right? That's what he says. And when you find yourself out of alignment with it, then reevaluate what that bliss and that joy is. And he actually gave a formula. I can't remember the whole thing right now, but where he talks about what is the best way to do that. And he says the first thing to do is to identify that you have a passion, that you have a desire. What is your greatest desire, your deepest desire, what you want more than anything to have happen or occur or become or be in your life? To set that, and then look at what you need in order for that to happen. What needs to change, what needs to shift. Build your kind of idea around it. And set your intention that that's where I'm moving towards, and then let it go, right? Don't hold on to the passion itself. Allow yourself to experience the ride there, because the passion will change and it will shift and it will grow and it will evolve, as will you. So oftentimes our passions are not designed, like some people get really stuck. One of my clients, she's going to school because she wants to get her bachelor's degree. She wants to have that degree, right? She's also a single mother, a business owner, a gifted and talented healer, an artist with a booming business, right, that is exploding right now, with no time to do it, no time to do her self-care practicing, not nearly as much time as she wants to spend with her daughters. So instead, but the idea that I need to have this degree is the driving purpose. So why? What's the reason behind it, right? That white horse and the black horse. The white horse, I want the degree. The black horse, because it will prove to my parents that I'm a grown-up. It will prove to others that I'm legitimate. It will prove to others that I'm valid, right? Oftentimes people ask me, what licenses do you have? What certificates have you gotten? What modality do you work in? Are you Reiki? Oh my God, I had somebody describe me as Reiki the other day, and nothing against Reiki. It's a great modality. It is what it is. It's not what I do. They asked me about that, and they actually described me as a Reiki master. I'm like, I'm sorry, no, I'm actually not. I'm not a master of any modality. Modalities to me are, especially certificates, are permission slips to show up as what somebody else designed. Somebody else's feed, somebody else's contribution, right? It's not mine. I don't do Reiki because Reiki is not my field. That's not what I came here to be. I didn't come here to be a Reiki master. I came here to be Jessie Dujari, and I don't know of anybody who can license me to be that. So for this other client, she's in this position where she has these choices Do I follow what's my passion, truly, my true passion, which is to be able to create things for people that help them heal and embody themselves and connect with Gaia more deeply and connect with their higher selves more completely and align with themselves more? Or is it to get a degree so my parents stop thinking I'm not responsible and an adult? Right? So how do you block yourself from what you believe your passion to be? She enjoys school, she enjoys learning, she enjoys growing, she enjoys connecting there, but we can also get lost in that. We can create a false sense of enjoyment, and we can create, like right now, she's taking less classes, still going, taking less classes, half-time, and all the classes that she really loves. But what are they? Bookmaking, creative writing, right? And neuroscience. So they're a little bit less in alignment with her degree and more in alignment with what her passion, her true passion is. So we have to be careful. We can mistake things as passion when really what they are is a desire to fit in, a desire to be accepted, a desire to be validated, a desire to be seen as what we think will make us worthy of love. Right? A desire to release ourselves from a judgment that we hold about ourselves. A belief that we are not worthy, are not lovable, are not valid. There are a lot of people who think that, they've got something that they really feel like they need to share, but they don't feel ready for it. And sometimes you're not. Sometimes truly you do need to get back in and do some more learning, do some more research, do some more experimentation. But that's usually because you're not showing up all the way authentically as what you came here to be yet. And sometimes we find that by showing up. Sometimes we find that by learning. Sometimes we find that by experimenting. So if you're in a position where you're not sure what you're doing or who you are or what you came here to be, then play. That's the time to play. Not the time to make work out of it. Not the time to expect others to support your living by that. It's the time to play. Release that expectation and play in that area. Play in the arena. Shape-shifting was the perfect card for that. Try on different personas. Try on different experimentations. I've been doing this work now for this fall will be 4 years that I've been doing this kind of work. And I took about 2 of those years to really play with how I presented. I wasn't charging session fees. I was just playing. And everyone I worked with, I'm like, you're my guinea pig. I'm experimenting. I'm trying this out. I'm trying that out. And of course, I had been playing for much longer than that. I've been doing guidance work and counseling work and support group work and studying psychology and studying and training all of my life. But really getting into it, I'm like, how do I want to present? Who do I want to show up as Jessie Dujari? What does that look like? Well, that meant I had to play with it. I had to release the expectation of officiating, of being official as who I am, right? And now that I feel like I'm clear, I know how I'm supposed to show up. I understand what my work is. Now I'm, okay, here it is. This is what I'm showing up as. This is who I'm being. So it's really important to give yourself permission to try on different things, to try out different things, to play with yourself, to play with how you present, to play with those around you. As you play, that's where you get the greatest of the learning. But once you set yourself in a position where you're trying to be a master, before you've even really played and discovered who you are, you're losing all the lessons, right? And that was what the story about the Zaxes was really about. They had, no, it was the Zaxes, Jessie. You missed it. So when we get stuck in an idea of, well, but this is what I am a north-going Zax, well, then you're missing out on everything else that's around you, because there's east and there's west and there's northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest, and you're not traveling in any of those directions because you've anchored yourself in already. I can't tell you how many people have told me that they can't change modalities now because that's what they do. That's what they're licensed as. That's what their website is built around. That's whatever it is. Right, so it's important to give yourself permission to play while you're getting into your expression. Let your passion motivate you and get you moving, but be aware of that black horse in the action, right? Of the undercurrents, of the desires that are underneath what you're doing and what you're seeking to accomplish. So we're going to do a meditation about that. And I know we're starting meditation even earlier today than we normally do. Now, unless you guys have any questions about that or have anything you'd like to say, I'm going to take a sip of my coffee and get myself comfortable and ready for meditation. And it's hilarious because all morning long, it's been a total blanket gray sky. And right now, out my window, is the clouds are parting and blue sky is showing. No tools modality. Exactly, Jesse. Tools are permission slips to do magic. Tools are, and I use tools, right? I teach you guys different tools and share them with you, not to give you something to anchor in on and think, oh, the only way I can accomplish this is with that tool. But in order to teach you, oh, I can do magic, and get you the feel of it, the vibration of it. Sun-wise, let's see. So the sun right now, okay, so let me see. When the sun comes up, it comes up over there, and really over there. And it comes at this time of year, as we're approaching June, it comes up over the top of my building. And let's see, that's probably like around noon or 1. And then it's over there by 3. So right now, it's probably right around there. Oh, the sun came out when you showed up. We'll still work on that ego part, Jesse. So that's basically what we're working on today. Okay, sip of my coffee. Go ahead and make sure you're sitting comfortably, that you have your position that you want to be in, whether you're laying down or you're sitting. Get your feet firmly planted on the floor or stretched out and relaxed. Try to uncross things if they are crossed right now. Getting yourself really nice and centered in this time, in this space. So I do feel there are a few new people who are not yet grounded and connected. So maybe that's why we started meditation so early, so we can get everybody in that state. So let's breathe in this present moment. Feeling the air come into the body and exhale. Breathing in this present moment, present sense. Smelling the air, feeling the temperature coming into the body. And exhale, releasing. Breathing in this present moment. And exhaling. And as you breathe in this time, I want you to visualize yourself, all the things that you're connected to in your life. Breathing in, thinking of all the distracting thoughts, things that you have to do after you're done, places to go. Imagine they're hooks with little fishing lines attaching you to them, stretching you out. And as you exhale, release those hooks. And as you breathe in this time, draw those hooks in, just like one of those dolls that draws her little pull string back in. And unhook yourself from any other distracting thoughts of places to go, people you need to see, responsibilities. And as you exhale, unhook, breathing them in, those lines. Now unhook from anything that keeps you in the past, what has happened before, what happened yesterday, what upset you, what hurt you, how you felt. Unhooking from those and breathing in those lines of connection. Unhooking to last week, maybe the year before, maybe your childhood. Really just releasing yourself to the point where you almost don't have an identity in this moment, this time. You're just purely present, breathing in those lines of connection. And exhaling, unhooking yourself from these expectations you have about yourself, ideas about yourself, who you are, what you're supposed to be, what you're supposed to do. Just unhooking, breathing in those lines of connection. And unhooking from your expectations again. We're going to do a couple of these ones as you exhale. Breathing in those lines of connection. This moment in time, even unhook from your name, your defining characteristics, your sign, your birth date, everything about yourself that defines you. Just unhook from right now, here and now. Drawing in those lines of connection. And as you exhale this time, I want you to grow roots from this point, from here and now, down into Gaia. And while you're breathing in, draw that energy up from Gaia, just like a tree pulls the energy up from the earth, pulls the nutrients in the water up through her roots. And as you exhale, push those roots deeper and wider. Breathing in, drawing up that energy of Gaia, inviting her to come into the vessel, come into the body. As you breathe in and exhale, pushing those roots deeper and wider. Breathing in through those roots, drawing the energy up. Feel how it's already up to your calves right now, that tingling and buzzing and vibration. Without even really thinking about pulling it up through the body, just drawing energy up and allowing yourself to push those roots deeper and wider. Feel that energy now up in the knees and thighs. Make those roots thicker and juicier, more alive, more full, more rich. Drawing the energy up. See how now it's just starting to tingle in your seat, in your root, with this intention and focus. I know that some of you are already fully grounded and connected, but use this as an opportunity to see where you still have blocks, where you still have challenges. Where is your flow weak? Where is it strong? Bringing that energy up through the root. And sending it down Feel how it's just starting to tingle in that lower belly, in our sacral area. This is where we hold our passion. Feeling that energy tingling and coming up as we breathe in. Drawing the energy up from the roots. And exhale, flush it down. See how you feel the energy where it's at actually as you exhale. As we draw it up, we don't really feel too much. We exhale, well, then we see where it's actually at. When we need to take that really deep breath, that yawning breath, that's our vessel upgrading, shifting up, just like a car. Put that clutch in, shift to the next gear, and boom. Going a little faster, a little heavier, moving more work, doing more work with less effort. The same thing you're doing right now. Breathing in, drawing that energy up, and exhale. Feel how now it's tingling in that solar plex area, our sense of self, our identity form, our ego form. Breathing in, drawing that energy up. And exhaling. Feel how that energy is starting to come up into the heart space. Breathing in. And exhaling. Feeling that heart starting to open up. For a lot of us, we don't really let ourselves open our hearts all the way because we're very protective and guarded. We've been taught to be so. Good. Feel that opening? Even more. Knowing you're in this safe, sacred space where vulnerability is key, is sacred, is valued and held. Breathing in. Feel how now it's all the way filled, that whole heart space, all the way filled it up. Breathing in and exhaling. Feel how it's in the throat, where we express our passion, express passionately, shut down our expression of our passion. Just allow it to talk to you. Somebody's eyes are really burning. Mine too. Feel that energy's just starting to reach up into that head, that third eye space, as we're adjusting and shifting and allowing the way we view things, which is what usually justifies and validates our passion, whether we're proceeding or we're stalled, whether we're successful or we're failures, right? This all happens up here in this third eye space. So bringing that energy up as we breathe in exhale. Breathing in, drawing more of Gaia's energy up into the vessel. Feeling that crown just starting to awaken a little bit, feeling the tingling, starting to reach up into that crown space as we breathe in and exhale. Breathing in. And as we exhale, feel that crown opening. There it is. Allowing the energy of Gaia as it's passed through this hardness of the vessel into that fluid energetic space to carry our consciousness up our line, up our frequency, up our strand of energy. Allow it effortlessly and gracefully to follow that all the way up, all the senses of self as other selves come in, feeling it tracing this line all the way back into that heart of Source, into the creation, the infinite consciousness. There. Just let yourself be there, back in that unity, that whole space for this time. You are no longer an individuation in this moment, in this time. Feel that oneness with all of the creation, all of the consciousness. There is no more you or me. There just is in this moment, this time. And while you keep your consciousness here in this unity, imagine you're opening up that tap and flowing that infinite consciousness frequency that can be anything, like the stem cell water pouring down from Source. Let it pour down through your body, down through your crown. Flushing, cleansing, reattuning, realigning as it flows down through your cells, through the space between your cells, down. Washing and cleansing the trauma and the debris of karma from your DNA, from your muscles, from your tissue that connects you to yourself, from the lines of communication between your cells, flushing that water down through the head. Down through the throat. Remembering to breathe. Down through that heart and chest space, and the shoulders. Down through the heart and lungs. Down through that diaphragm area and into that solar plex. Allowing all to wash down through your roots as you flush it down into the sacral. Flush it down through your root and your seat. Flushing it down through the thighs and down the legs as it washes through you, releasing all this debris that's anchored you into any one identity, one thought of yourself, belief about yourself. If you need to move your ankles or move your body around in this cleansing water, do so. At this point, that's what I like to do. Roll my shoulders, readjust them. My ankles, my knees, my hips, everything will pop. Good. Now I want you to call up, what is your greatest passion right now? What is the thing that you've been working towards? What's been driving and motivating you right now in your life? Let's call forward that white horse energy that's running free, dancing across the field, fully charged, inspired, excited, moving. Let it guide you to see the passion that you hold right now, what you're passionate about. For those who feel a lack of passion in their life right now, imagine yourself riding that white horse, and she's delivering you to your passion. Allow it in this time, in this space. Notice how still your consciousness is up in that source and that infinite consciousness. Begin to bring your consciousness down through your divisions from original separation to source, down through your lines. Don't worry about knowing what they are or holding it. Just allow yourself to follow yourself back into your individuations, separations, segmentations, all the way back until you come back to the you who's there riding that white horse, fully present. When we ride a horse, we have to sit deep and then unlock our body from our hips and allow ourselves to move with the animal. Let yourself move. As you feel that passion that animal has for this movement, for this freedom, for this joy, let her show you. Another way of riding the passion. Now see how behind her is that black horse. What is the black horse holding? Who's riding the black horse? The subconscious motivators, the subconscious drivers, those that feel like they've been left behind and the only way they can catch up is to follow this white horse. What's riding that? The black horse. See how by just becoming conscious of these parts, just beginning to notice them, they're starting to speed up, that black horse. Let that black horse speed up and to come into parallel alignment with you, riding on the white horse, riding your passion, your consciousness, your awareness. Let your subconscious become one as that black horse merges with your white horse. As those of you on the black horse and those of you on the white horse come together and begin to allow yourself to be all of these things. For all of these things to become present, become allowed, become aware of. In this moment, in this time, you are all the different shades of everything between. All the colors, the full spectrum of the self. All moving forward. And its ultimate quest, which is to know itself. To love itself. To feel loved. To be of love. And just ground that feeling. Somebody's got an ache in the heart. Thank the heart for showing you. I haven't been feeling the love enough lately. I've wanted others to fill this for me, but I need to love me. Even the parts lagging behind. Try putting your hands on your chest and imagining just pure love radiating through your palms into your heart, if that's you. Breathing that love in and exhaling all that you judged yourself for not being worthy of it for. Out. Just hold this awareness. We're not trying to change or fix what our passion is or our drive or our motivation. We're allowing, we're stepping into a state of total allowance of the self in all of its forms. Feel better? Very good, you guys. Go ahead and stay in this state for as long as you choose. I'm going to go ahead and go. Let yourself know all the parts of your passion and your desire and your exploration. And I'll see you here tomorrow. Thanks for coming, guys.